Happy Wednesday! Here we are. Did you guys notice? Did you notice I put in the extra black at the end of that trailer, at the end of Sean's Spring Ball trailer? So it gives me a little bit of ramp up into, you're on, live. So yeah, did that. That helped a little bit, but I'm never really prepared, honestly, once the camera turns on. But happy Wednesday, everybody. Good to see you. Thank you for coming in here. My name is Rocky Ballesteros. Welcome to another episode of My Wednesday Comics, an opportunity and a chance to look at the new books that I pick up every week, as well as some back issues I might find or things that spur my imagination or connection to the books that I'm looking at. all sorts of comics talk. It's all about comics. And this is my weekly show to kind of just share with the audience what it is that inspires me and interests me about comics every week. This was a good week. There was a lot of books that came out, and even a couple that I wasn't sure whether or not I was going to pick up or not. But yeah, a lot came out. It involved me going into a couple of stores to track everything down. Once again, that's just how it goes. I have to put on my like Sherlock Holmes hat and map out my course on every Wednesday just to find out where I can get certain books. Certain shops carry, different stock. Usually with new books every week, most stores carry the same books, but with all the distribution craziness that has been going on with diamond distributors and everything, I find that some stores, at least the books that are on the fringe, not the super popular ones, but the ones that are on the fringe, I have to go hunting for a little bit, or the like variant editions or variant covers or different sizes. As I was conversing with Jeffrey Beats in the chat before the stream went live, that Hush 2 giant size, that one's not always easy to find at every store. So I do have to do a little bit of hunting for that. But did I get the giant sized edition? I got it for the first issue of Hush 2. Did I get it for today? You'll find out. I'll let you guys know. But the other thing I wanted to mention was, before I get into anything, and before I dive into the show, and I'm rushing a little bit because I do have a hard stop in a couple hours. I gotta clamp down. We're not gonna be yapping too much today, emo trash. I gotta clamp down because I do have a hard stop. There was a lot of balls that got thrown in my direction today of coordination, and so I do have to limit my time today, but I was determined to get this show in there. I was thinking maybe I would do a late night Wednesday comics show, but then that also got sidetracked. So I'm squeezing it in here, but I only got a couple hours to do it, and it should be fine. But control my talking. But before we get into all of that stuff, I do want to share my screen because my buddy Shanthan Jetty, he finished his first 30 days campaign last night for Springball Terminal Monstrosity. Look at where he is, $20,528, 381 backers. What an amazing accomplishment for him for Springball. Give him a little bit of a applause. He did a closeout stream, I believe, on Shane Davis's channel. I didn't get to catch it because I was at a baseball game last night, which was a horrible baseball game, but we won't get into that. You guys can just look up the score to see how horrible it was. But anyway, I did want to give a shout out at the beginning of this stream to my buddy Shanthan Jetty Art. He's a good friend. We've been friends for over 30 years. He's killing it with his the comics that he's creating. And Springball is near and dear to his heart, but also to my heart because, he's been working on this for years. And he produced an earlier version before when we first graduated from college. And he just hustled. He's just all about the hustle, Shant is. And so to see him succeed in this new era of independent comics is amazing. And I cannot wait to see what happens with Springball. It's one of my favorites that Shant has done, and it's going to be awesome. So if you haven't backed it, go back it on Indiegogo. I'll drop the link in the chat really quick here. I know most of you guys already know, but yeah, go back it. Go support Shant. He's a good man. He's putting out quality content, and he's just an overall awesome dude. One of my closest friends. In this crazy world of comics. So yeah, okay, so let's see. We're going to shoot the fat really fast. This is going to be a rapid fire shoot the fat. But I do want to give my shout outs to everybody in the chat right now, especially this guy, Jeffrey Beats from the land down under.
10% bogan, 50% bogan, 100% bogan.
Good day from the land of Oz. What's up, Jeffrey Beats? First in the chat. So good to see you. And I hope you're having a good day in Oz. he said, he was asking me, did you pick up Batman Hush 2 #2? I did. Whether I picked up the giant size or not, we will find out in a moment here. And Jeffrey Beats, he already picked it up and read it super fast. Yeah, oftentimes when I'm picking up my comic books on the rack, I just flip through it a couple flip throughs, and then I'm like, yes, no, or I already kind of know if I'm going to pick up a book or not. But those like non-essential books that I'm picking up, I do flip through a few pages and then that's it. I don't have a chance to read it. And then by the time I get home, I'm like, I got to stream, so I don't really have a chance to read any of the books before I start streaming, because I just want to experience it with you guys and kind of comment it live with you guys. So yeah, I did flip through, excuse me, I did flip through Hush to 159? Yes. But I haven't read it yet. So we'll see. We'll see. Who else is in here? Okay, this person, Emo Trash. Where were you, Emo Trash? Where were you yesterday? I don't know if you watched the stream yesterday. I got a chance to do a Master Study stream. It was a super fun Master Study stream. I was rewatching it this morning. Finished up the pencils on that Frank Miller page, and they turned out great. I'm really excited about how they turned out, and I cannot wait to get to the inking stage of that page. So yes, that's another show I do. For those of you new to the channel, I do a show called Master Study, where I am recreating from blank page to finished inks, pages that inspire me by masters of the comic book form, which I think are masters. And right now I'm working on a Frank Miller Master Study page from his 1980s run on Daredevil. In particular, this story was the Elektra saga. So we just finished up the pencils. You can go watch that stream from yesterday up on my channel. And then there's also a stream before that. That was stream 2 of that Master Study series. There's also a stream before that where I started at the very beginning of the pencils. And then we're going to be moving on to inks very, very shortly. Most likely beginning of next week, we'll be starting inks on that page. So super excited about that. But Emo Trash, I don't know, like at the beginning of the stream, we were already like, whoa, where's Emo? Oh, she's going to show up. And she never showed up. And I heard some crazy rumor that you were watching a movie called Nosferatu. And I was like, well, surely she'll pop in. And everybody was like, just give her a chance. Extend the stream. So I started spinning some hats and making stuff up, pulling out old books. No Emo Trash. What happened? What happened, Emo Trash? You were missed. I'm just giving you a fake guilt trip. You were missed. Hopefully the movie was good. Let us know how Nosferatu was. I heard that was a good one. Let's see. Jeffrey Beats says, I like the novelty of the size, the giant-sized Hush. Yes, it is quite a novel size. And I did pick up that first issue at that size. So what I had heard, and it is true, I guess they're releasing every issue at that giant-sized. And if I know DC, they will probably release a hardbound or some sort of compilation graphic novel maybe at that size as well. Jerks. I think what they should do is is release it giant sized, but do black and white. That would I would definitely excuse me. Oh my gosh. I would definitely grab every single bit of that. Maybe they're going to release an artist edition later. I don't know. I'm such a sucker. Totally a sucker. Okay, Rocky. No Rocky jump scare. Yes. No. I fix that. John. # blame emo.
What's your name? He goes, John.
John knows. John was one of the biggest supporters trying to extend it. John and Comrade Sammy. They were just like, they're placing the track. Have you guys ever seen Wallace and Gromit? That scene where Gromit is being chased on the train set by the penguin, and Gromit's like laying down the train track ahead of the train, like so fast. It's a brilliant scene. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. But that's how it was. John and Comrade Sammy, man, they were laying down the track. They're like, you can do this, like, blah, blah, blah. She's going to come. She's going to come. Never came. It's my biggest disappointment yesterday. Not Rocky making a treasure map of his Wednesday comics route. I should do that. I should have like a live map, like a air tag that's live streamed of where I am going to find the comic book shop. That would be hilarious and amazing. Balls thrown in Rocky's direction. Rocky needs to watch the sports ball. I do. It was a horrible game. We got slaughtered by the Milwaukee Brewers. It was really bad, and it was really cold. The game was it was really cold outside, but I had a good time with the friend that I went with, so that was worth it. But we left early. Spoiler alert, because it was pretty bad. Cranberry Landers is here.
This is a cranberry, full of power.
I'm sorry, correction. Cranberry Landers is not here, apparently. The ghost of Cranberry Landers is here to tell us that he's not here. John says, I got YouTube shadow banned for Shant last night. Really? What? You got shadow banned? Why? What could you possibly do that would get you shadow banned, John? Oh my gosh. Controversial. You would be the last person, I would think, that would get shadow banned. John says, thankfully being a mod here and commenting breaks it. Oh, okay. Does that it's like you get a strike against you for being shadow banned, but a gold star for being a mod. So I would vouch for you in the court of law, John. I would vouch for you as being an upstanding citizen, not worth being shadow banned. Cranberry Landers is gone about 2 minutes. Okay. All right. 2 minutes it is. I always I hold out on trying to eat a cough drop. I'll be honest with you guys. I'm totally sick of the taste of these cough drops because I eat so many of them during the day. I need to get another flavor. But dang it. Rapid fire. Yes, we're doing it. Let's see. I'm gonna do it. Usually Shoot the Fat takes half an hour plus, but I'm gonna get it. We're gonna go fast. You'll be amazed, Emo Trash. Now, where is Comrade Sammy? Are Comrade Sammy and Emo Trash the same person? You don't see them both in the same place at the same time? It's like Clark Kent and Superman. You need to lock in. That's right. You got to pull your weight today, Emo Trash. Rocky's rapid fire though is not really. I'm gonna surprise you guys. Just watch. We get our comic books a day earlier than you do the time zone. That's right. You should come up with a stream, Jeffrey Beats, that's like Spoiler America comic stream. My Tuesday comics. Or My Wednesday Comics Australia edition. That's right. We're gonna I'm gonna commission you to open up your own, like the Australia headquarters for My Wednesday Comics. And then you're like from the future. My Wednesday Comics from the future. Oh my gosh. This does not mean I should not be an obstacle. Especially since it seems I was missed yesterday. You were, Emo Trash. It wasn't the same. And yet the spirit of you derailed us because we were waiting for you to make your entrance. So you accomplished the derailing without even being here. Pretty amazing. That's pretty amazing. Remember, you're obstacling for 2 right now. You need to make up for Comrade Sammy. Yes. I wouldn't doubt that Emo Trash could derail for 2. What not where yesterday? Told what not where. Oh. See? Jeffrey Beats was there. He was there. He tried. I did. I was really kind, really patient. Pulled out all the stops. The movie was longer than stream, and given who I was with, it was not happening. But I'm glad that I'm influential enough that the chat would guilt trip for me. So was it good? Jeffrey Beats is asking. Yeah, we want to know. Was it good? It must have been good, or else you would have come into the stream. The power of that film kept you away from our stream. Treasure map should be like the Indian. Yes, I love that. I love that kind of pulpy dotted line with the airplane. I should do that. That would be amazing. If I had some sort of like animated roadmap before each stream to show you guys where I went. That would be amazing. Gosh, all these ideas. I'm going to write that down. That's noteworthy, John. Noteworthy. Animated. And one thing I realized too, animated map of comic trip. One thing I noticed too is, even though I do this like notes things for those of you guys, like just so I remember what we talk about, things that I want to look into later. I realize I need to recap it at the end of the stream so that it's easy to find. Because sometimes I'll do it in the middle of the stream and then I'm like, did I write a note? And then I still have to watch the whole stream to find the note, which defeats the whole purpose. So I should like recap it at the end is what I was thinking to myself. YouTube shadow bans me when I talk too much in chat as a regular chatter. What? Are you kidding me? That doesn't seem right. If that were the case, all of you should be banned all the time. Unless it's because you're a mod, you don't get banned? Oh, because you're a mod. If you're not a mod, you can't chat a lot? That is crazy. I've never heard that before. That's a horrible thing. That discourages people to be engaged in the chat. Wow, that's horrible. Emotress asked, Sean streamed last night? No, he was on Shane Davis's stream. Shane Davis is a independent comic creator. He used to work for DC and maybe Marvel. Big time artist. And he streamed like a closeout stream for Shant. Thanks, Rocky. YouTube would never admit it or nor give a clear route how to avoid it. YouTube gonna YouTube. That's horrible. There you go. John knows. Shane Davis channel for the first 30 days closed. Not really changing anything, but good for a sales push. Yeah. Noteworthy. That's right. That's right. He'll do that, and then he'll realize we'll hold him even more accountable to stream every week. My guess is that he bought Giant Size Batman Hush 2 #2. Some great art in that. Jeffrey Beats is putting his bet down. He's putting his bet down that I all right, I'm gonna put a poll as I start. I'm gonna start. This would be a funny poll. Did Rocky buy Hush Hush 2 number 159? Is that right? Yes. Did Rocky buy Batman Hush 2 number 159 giant sized? Or regular? Giant sized. Let's see what you guys think. What does the poll think? I mean the chat think. All right, we'll let that run. We'll let that run while we start going into here. I have realized that Jim Lee is a giant poser. Loves the large full page. Well, I think he's totally like, he must have known they were printing it out giant sized for the whole series. So I feel like kind of how you're saying here that he's like composing his pages to be like, wow, like, like really impactful for giant size. So yes, that would make sense. Rocky in the larger stream saying hello to everyone individually causes it. Oh, that's lame. That is lame. Everything seems normal on my end, but people just stop responding. Comrade Sammy, what's up? She made it. Currently busy at the moment, but I have a few minutes. All right. See, she's here. What's Rocky blabbering about? Do we ever know? Okay, look, check it out. 25 minutes in since the start of the stream, and I'm done. I'm caught up. Fast. I'm chopping off minutes here of talking. Now, granted, I did cheat a little bit because I cut out a couple trailers before I started. So maybe that's cheating a little bit, but maybe not. All right, let's start as the poll goes, and then we'll stop the poll right before I go. But let's start. Okay. Absolute Martian Manhunter number 2 already came out. Surprise, surprise. I was surprised at how fast this came out because I feel like we were just talking about Absolute Martian Manhunter number 1, which did really good according to DC's sales. And I did see many reviews on this book, and I'd say it was mixed. Mixed in that people either really loved it or really didn't. And I'm on the camp of really liking it a lot. Really loving it a lot. Would I say love it? I liked it a lot because it was so different. I love the artist, Javier Rodriguez. And the story, Martian Manhunter himself has never been a character that I'm like, oh, he's such a cool character. He was always kind of strange. It was like, I don't know. I don't even know all the history and the origins of Martian Manhunter, but it always felt like he was like, oh, well, they kind of made him kind of like Superman, but not really like Superman, as strong as Superman. But then he can like phase through things, and he can also shape shift. Like he just got all these like random attributes and powers. And I never felt him as like a super engaging character. I did like him in the animated series, in the Justice League animated series. I thought he was great. I liked him in Darwin Cook's series, New Frontier. I thought he had a great arc in there. So the fact that they reinvented him pretty much for this Absolute Manhunter, I didn't have anything to like be attached to enough to say, oh, like they're ruining the old Manhunter. It's like, oh, I don't care. Like do something new. Cool. So I've enjoyed the take and how bizarre and crazy they're trying to be with it. And a lot of people have. But then there's a lot of people also who are just like, this is too weird for a comic for me. Some people didn't like the art style. I think it's great. And they do a lot of fun stuff. And it looks like they're doing it here in this issue. Same stuff of like playing around with these crazy colors, this like smoke, weird abstract smoke aspect of it. It's fun to see them try and play up the alien side or the Martian side of Martian Manhunter more, giving him like one eye. And yeah, it's like a total mind trip, as you can see here. Some crazy things going on. I love the color design in this. Forgot who's doing the colors. I'll probably say at the credits somewhere. Oh, Javier Rodriguez is doing his own colors, which is great. It's great. There's a certain flavor and feel. I didn't even check if I am. It looks like we're in focus, but give me 1 second. Just to double check that we are in focus. Yeah, that's better. Yeah, this kind of stuff, like they're going there with these trippy, I feel like you got to be on some sort of like hallucinogen to understand where they're really going. And they got to be careful. I think they have to, and I don't know, I haven't read this yet, but they have to make sure the emotional thread is there to carry you through this bizarre interpretation of the world. Otherwise, people just drop out. So you got to carry that. But I love the layouts and the fun things he's doing with the color and the designs. This is awesome. Wow, look at that. That's really cool. Feels kind of like Will Eisner-y a little bit. Eisner would do all these. And Darwin Cook, I feel even too, does these very interesting unique panel layouts to help tell the story. Yeah, this feels kind of Darwin Cookish. I actually have Batman Ego. I just happened to have it out because I was looking at it for some reference, and Darwin does all these kind of cool things in Batman Ego. Like this kind of stuff. It's like the figure is the panel, is part of the panel. And similarly in Batman Ego, it's all this kind of mind trip. I know there's another panel in here I was looking for. And I feel like, these kind of larger panels. I feel like it's very much influenced by Eisner. Maybe that was the main one. Maybe I'm thinking of another series. But I know Darwin Cook does that a lot, and I know he loved Will Eisner stuff. He even did an Eisner series for a while. He was the writer and illustrator in Eisner. So this is Batman Ego. But anyway, there's some cool stuff. Like having the figure here, like large in the buildings. It's great. I do like the tone, too, that they're establishing with this. This is not a tone you would really think of for Martian Manhunter. He's more of like an otherworldly guy. And this is a lot more like a noir mystery story. Wow, that's cool. That's like graphic, but not graphic. That's crazy. Super bizarre. I love it. It's getting crazy. What in the heck? That's crazy. They're like doubling down. They're like, we're going there. And I feel like with the Absolute series, all the Absolute series, Absolute Batman, Absolute Wonder Woman, Absolute Superman to a certain extent, but now this one, Absolute Martian Manhunter, they're just going like all in. And whoever the editors are, or the overarching editors of this initiative, they're letting these creators just like lean into being so different. So it's cool. I like it. For sure I will keep picking that up, but really fun cover here. I did get to see a couple of the variant covers that were on the rack for this issue, but I like this one. It's so weird and bizarre, and I like the standard cover, so picked up this one. But there you go. Absolute Martian Manhunter number 2. All right, let's see. What? Rocky didn't take 50 hours to get through chat. That's right. Comrade Sammy, I'm gonna be a machine today. Already 2:30. I gotta be done in an hour and a half to make the appointments I gotta make. 24 minutes, a record that he's never gonna beat. I'm doing it. How can you possibly be busy at this auspicious time? It's sacred. If he's actually locked in this time, then I better work on my cheat sheet for my test tomorrow. I shall be lurking. The art in Martian Manhunter is awesome. I bought that artist as Zatanna, and it was amazing. Yeah. Did I can't remember. No, I don't have the compilation of that Zatanna series. I'll have to find that. But I did like it a lot, yeah. Really cool. He's great. He's just so different, and I mean, we talked about this in previous streams. Like, there's a few artists that kind of live in this world. Marcos Martin, Javier Rodriguez. There's another one I can't, his name escapes me at the moment. But yeah, they have a very unique flair to their work, which is clean, it's simpler, but it's also really well told. Really, it's not like they're like skimping on the drawing. They know how to draw, but they just have this very, very clean side. Chris Samney kind of lives in this world too. Men are from Mars, women are from Venus. Awesome one says.
Yes, that's awesome.
Yeah, I don't think they have an absolute Venetian woman hunter though. But yeah, that's true. Men are from Mars, women are from Venus. How you doing, awesome one? This all reminds me of either Batman or Justice League cartoons. It does have a slight animated feel to it, you could say, just because the simplicity a little bit. But it's also, it's also comics. Like it doesn't feel like an animated style. I can see the simplicity feeling like there's some connection there, but it doesn't have an animated style, at least in my opinion. Silly graphic. It's like a comic version of Dan to Dan. Oh, you mentioned that before, Emo Trash. I've not gotten to see that show or watch that anime yet, or read the comic yet, but I need to, because I know it's all the rage right now. I did watch the first episode of a show that my friend Alan Lau recommended called Lazarus, and that was crazy. I think he was telling me that the action sequences were choreographed by the guy who choreographed The Raid, I think. So they're really elaborate. Oh my gosh. Yeah, the drawing in that series is unbelievable. All while Bancroft and chat were ripping on this, I was like, why do I like this art style? All right. I guess they were doing that on Bancroft's channel. Martian, I can see that. I've watched some of those art share streams that he's done. And I know that Rob, in particular, is a tough one to please. So I could see him hating on that style. He's going to like what he's going to like. All right, here's the next comic. G.I.Joe #6. I think this is the reason why I picked this up is this is a crazy cover, actually. The reason why I picked this up is I believe it's the end of the first 6-issue arc of this new series, G.I. Joe. If you guys recall, the last issue ended with Duke meeting Cobra Commander for the first time, and it was in a not so great layout. The last image. Oh, I think yeah, I'll pull it out. This is not the way to cut time off, but it must be done. Where did that go? Not on. Oh, maybe it's on this shelf. Maybe it's on this shelf. Too many shelves. Yes. Yes. Okay. The cliffhanger at the end of the last issue. Whoop. The cliffhanger at the end of the last issue was actually a really weak layout. I was not happy with this layout at all. I kind of talked about it for ad nauseum the last stream, but I felt like this was such a weak kind of pose layout for the big confrontation between Duke and Cobra Commander. So that was the last page. Why do I feel like that's not totally unfocused? Yeah. Okay, so this was the last page. So it left me with like, okay, what's going to happen? Even though I wasn't happy with that last image. But I do believe this is the end. See, even that's a better angle right there. This is cool. So I want to see what happens between Duke and Cobra Commander. This is it. This is like good versus evil right here. Again, Jordi Belair doing some crazy color choices in this. But I like it. It's exciting. It's different. So orange and blue combo here, but very different than you would expect. I love Cobra Commander's design. This is my favorite Cobra Commander with the metal mask. Wow, they're just shooting at each other. Yep, this is what you want. You want them to just go straight up after each other. Face to face. That's amazing. He's just shooting him in the face, in the metal plate, point blank. Really bold colors here. It's like, boom, all this like oranges, everything orange, and then this cool as in cool color, like temperature cool, not like cool. Gray. That Duke is in the middle of all this, and then all these blues. I guess Cobra Commander has some sort of like bionic gun hand that he's blasting away. Yeah, this is awesome. This is what you want. Wow, look at that. Look at that color choice. All white with a self-color orange line. I feel like Tom Riley's got this great shorthand he's established with his style on drawing these characters. Aha! This is what we've been waiting for too. It's like they've been hinting at the crossover or the influence of Transformers and G.I. Joe and how they work together. They've been hinting at it this whole time, and even in the Transformers book. But something tells me at the end of this issue, they're just going to kind of hit you with it. Again, very, very interesting color picks here. There we go. Oh, that's cool. He gets in the Jeep. Clutch gets in the Jeep. And then he's driving. And I was like, what is this? It's we were just talking about sound effects yesterday on the Master Study stream. Like the cool thing about comic sound effects. And here we go. They're kind of leaning into it. That's where that sound comes from. Boom. There you go. That's the end of the opening arc. All right. We'll see where that goes. I'm debating whether or not, like, I've kind of hit this point with a number of books, a number of ongoing books that I pick up. G.I. Joe being one of them. Transformers is another one. I'm trying to think what other regular books have I been picking up. The Absolute series, although I'm pretty sold on keeping up with those. But G.I. Joe and Transformers are one of those books that I'm at the cusp of like deciding, okay, do I keep collecting the individual issues or do I just wait, like finish up whatever arcs I'm on and then invest in just waiting for the graphic novels? Like, do I need the individual issues for all these? I think the reason why I did go with them to begin with was because they were the number ones, and like, you know, you just like to be at the beginning of each series. But now they've kind of hit their stride, and you can tell they're kind of gonna keep at a regular pace. Now it's like, can I keep buying each one? Do I need to have all the individual issues? Then it becomes an issue of budget, space, shelf space. So yeah. But cool. This is the end of that first first intro arc for G.I. Joe, but it's great. It's been a fun little ride here, and it seems like this last issue will be a good one to, a good way to wrap up and kind of keep you on the edge of your seat of what happens next, but also like wrap it up a little bit. All right, let's see. See, I'm flying. This is great. This is a great pace, isn't it? I don't know. I recommend Dan to Dan as so long as your weird threshold is decently high. My weird threshold I can toggle that up pretty high, so I think I'll be okay. I just have to sit down and actually commit to getting into it. Emo is the girl blasting ghosts in her underwear. All right, that's a little personal there. Awesome one. It's a combination of rom-com, sci-fi, and horror. That all sounds cool. I'm down with a good rom-com if it's told well, if it's a good story. I'll confess, like many moons ago, I was a huge fan, and there was a bunch of my friends, all dudes, a bunch of my friends who were in film school, and not a bunch, but a handful of us who I was really into, like Dawson's Creek, like that show. There was something about the way that show was told and written that like I love the kind of, teeny angsty like stuff, but it wasn't I mean, it was cheesy, but there was just something about that like I could buy into. I've kind of loved that part of it. It's all the like stereotypical, very predictable rom-coms that I can't really get into. But if you mix a good rom-com with sci-fi, a little bit of horror, that could be really awesome. So Jeffrey Beat says, I knew it. Go Joe. More rom-com and horror, if I'm being honestly. More rom-com and horror than sci-fi, if I'm being honest. Okay. Waiting for season 2, which doesn't come out till July. Very honesty. Definitely not type. See, you're typing fast. I'm talking fast. Cobra, awesome one, says, Rocky, are artists ever satisfied? If so, how can you tell? No, and you can't. Are they shooting? Are Duke and Cobra Commander shooting the fat? Maybe. I'm peeping at work. What's up, Jason? It's a good day when Jason comes in and peeps the comics. It's fun. There's some fun stuff. Cobra. Can't wait to click on that. Chicha. Chicha. I always thought it was like, right? Rocky was on Noah's Ark. Oh, yes. No, I was not on Noah's. I'm not that old. Spend all your ramen soup money on comics, of course. Yeah, comics are getting expensive. They're getting expensive. The underwear reference is the first episode. She fights aliens and ghosts in her underwear. Hey, I'm a huge fan of like Fooly Cooley. Like that was weird and sci-fi and totally trippy, but amazingly done. There was some underwear in that too, so I get it. Mark's Music Obsession. Hey, Mark. Mark says, hey, Rocky, everyone, my internet is down. Oh, my goodness. Using my phone as a hotspot for the Apple TV. Well, wow. Having your internet down on a Wednesday. That's not good, Mark. That's not good. But no, I'm just kidding. So good to see you here, Mark. Hope you're having a good Wednesday. And hotspot for the Apple TV. So that means it's like big. My face is big. Oof. Just watch it small until the internet kicks back in. This was the first episode? Thought this was like the second or third. Oh, you're talking about Dan to Dan. This is the best short answer for that question. It's true, you can't. You really can't. And artists aren't satisfied. Never. That's the artist's struggle. You can just go on forever. Okay, keeping on the track of G.I. Joe is our next book. This is another Silent Missions book, guys. Remember we talked about them last week. There's 3 out already. The first one was Beachhead. Second one was Jinx. Third one was Spirit. And my order of prep, or the order of how I liked them, was that order. Beachhead I thought was the best one. Jinx second, and then Spirit third. I thought Spirit was the weakest one. This one I was excited about because I like Roadblock. He's a fun, always iconic character. This is a variant cover. I actually wanted the A cover, which was drawn by, I don't know who Andrew Cranky is, but I love this cover. I thought it was cool. And this one's okay. It's a little too realistic looking for me. I'm not super familiar with Fornes, Jorge Fornes. Yeah, I've seen some of his work somewhere, but I've never read like regular books that he's done. He has more of a realistic style. I mean, it's cool still. Everybody always puts the Gatling gun, the classic Gatling gun, in Roadblock's hands. But this was the only cover that was out there that at the store that I picked it up, and yeah, I'm pretty excited to dive into this one. Emo Trash says, I don't know, Rocky. Old man Asian stereotype usually tend to live a long life. Asian don't raisin. That doesn't roll off the tongue that well, but yeah, they do tend to live longer. But I don't know. I've definitely been faced with getting old a lot this last week or two, for no reason. Just a couple, a few things have come into play. But yeah, old man Asian. Has Florida been hacked? Emo Trash can send the opening song for Dan to Dan. Do it. Not as good as the Mashley opening, but both are a bop. Not sure what's up, awesome one. It's frustrating to say the least. Oh, I gotta move this wrench over there. Isn't it funny? Yeah, when you don't have internet, now we've got to a point with internet that it's like if somebody said, we got to turn off your power for a couple hours, or we have to turn off your water. It's like turn off your internet. You're like, wow, what am I going to do? It's become essential. Silent mission to be narrated by Rocky. Here we go. Okay, Emo Trash. She posted the Dan to Dan opening. Maybe we'll look at that in a second. Can I look at that? Am I going to get struck if I look at it? But there it is. Awesome one says, speaking of ramen, here's a 97-year-old woman making noodles from handmade buckwheat flour. That sounds amazing. Oh, Mark's music. Okay, you voted in the poll. Nice. Let me see where we're at. It will be the next book, so we'll find out soon enough. 88% of you say I got the giant sized. Only 12% of you says I got the regular sized. I guess that's what you guys think of me. That's how impractical you think I am. But I would vote that too. Okay, let's see. You're likely to be struck if you play it. Okay, maybe I won't play it then. Or maybe I'll just call it up and play like 2 seconds of it. But let's get into this silent mission because I am on a time frame here. All right, cool. So the artist on this is Andrew Cranky. He's the one who did the cover that I wanted, and I like it because it's a little bit more cartoony. Here's a closer image of it. It's a little bit more cartoony. My favorite rendition of Roadblock is drawn by none other than Michael Golden. Oh, gosh, this is just pulling me onto my shelves. This whole day is pulling on my shelves. I don't have enough time, but it is worth pulling out. Okay, hang on. Oh, I could actually pull out 2 things, but we'll just go with the easier one right now. I also have the artist. It's a folio set. I'll have to look at it another time because to pull it out is gonna totally take up too much time, and I'll geek out about it. This is my favorite rendition of Roadblock from G.I. Joe Yearbook number 2, drawn by none other than my favorite, Michael Golden. So I love, like G.I. Joe was the perfect book to put Michael Golden on because he had already come off of doing the NAM, right? You guys remember the NAM, which is was a fictional story of taking place during the Vietnam War about like the soldiers in the Vietnam War, and you kind of follow their stories. And Michael Golden drew it. That was one of his first like hits that he worked on. It was so different. To do a book about the Vietnam War was like not really like a popular idea, but the way that he did it was amazing. And so he just is so good at drawing technical stuff like military planes and equipment and vehicles. And he also still has a cartoony style to his stuff. So that combo is amazing. And if you think about it, like G.I. Joe coming from the NAM, and then G.I. Joe is like the perfect IP to put him on. So look at these amazing vehicles and the guys in them. And Roadblock he isn't in this story that much, but he comes at the end a little bit. But that image on the front, and I'll flip back to it in a second. That image from the front with Roadblock is such a iconic G.I. Joe image, and that one's burned in my brain. Oh, I guess he doesn't really show up. I thought he showed up at the end. He doesn't. So, yeah, just that cover image is all that we have of Roadblock. All this stuff at the back is just filler stuff. Here's another Michael Golden image. And then this was an image that Rob Liefeld aped for Cable. He did a Cable, like people have done side-by-side comparisons, and he was definitely looking at this image for one of the iconic Cable images that he drew. But yeah, this is the Roadblock that I love. That's burned in my brain. The version of Roadblock that is just perfection for me. So I was pleasantly surprised that this artist, Andrew Cranky, who I've never heard of before, kind of leaned into that and must have been looking at that for this story. It's cool, taking place in the snow, fun. Okay, Mashal is if Harry Potter didn't have magic but was a supernatural powered Bruce Lee. If Harry Potter doesn't have magic, then who is he? I do highly recommend Mashal too. It's Hogwarts, but if the main character abused the system through the power... Oh, okay. Mashal. Okay, cool. That sounds good. I'm going to write that down too. Mashal. That sounds like something that I would like to watch. The song is fire. The opening song for Mashal and Dan to Dan are by the same. Oh, okay, cool. I just remember, like, when it comes to like music and anime, like iconic music and anime, I always think of Yoko Kanno from Cowboy Bebop. But yes, you're not monetized, Rocky. They wouldn't strike you. Oh, well, that was that one time I got struck. I was just playing the trailer from like the Dick Tracy movie, and I got struck. That was my first and only time to get strike, or whatever, temporarily paused. So I was nowhere near anywhere as far as subscribers. So I think it's just some sort of algorithm that tracks it. There's the opening to Mashal. Nice. I'll check it out. Blame Rocky. All right. Could never be responsible for my own dear. Never. That's right. Another noteworthy. Reel It Why Hurts is my favorite anime song. Reality Hurts. Oh, all right. Gosh, all you guys in the anime. We gotta talk more about anime and manga in this channel. That's gonna happen. I had some conversations with some people. That's gonna happen. All right, let's get into it. Starts off in the snow. G.I. Joe had great snow characters. Always, that was the genius of G.I. Joe, was all the different, like, the underwater world, the air world, the snow world. Like, it was brilliant. Made it fun. It's cool. Looks like Lady J here is a prisoner. Here comes Roadblock. What is he doing? He's putting up a roadblock. Go figure. Cool. Yeah, I don't know where this artist came from. I don't recognize his work, but it's fun. Grenades go flying. Nice. That's an awesome Roadblock moment. Oh, I forgot who this character is. Was he just the jet fighter? Don't you guys remember, like, with your toys, oftentimes they would create characters that weren't supposed to be like anything. They were just like side characters or, ancillary characters. But for some odd reason, their design would like resonate with people. And then in your imagination, you'd make them the cool character. And I do remember, I don't know if this character is it, but I do remember them being some like pilots of a, like, for me, it was like in Return of the Jedi, the speeder bike troopers. Like, their costume was so cool, and like, they were just another stormtrooper, or the snow troopers, and I would make them like, I would make my little action figure like the coolest one. He's like the special one just because he looked different. But in the movie, they were just like, oh yeah, they're just a stormtrooper, but in the snow, or a stormtrooper on a speeder bike. It's brilliant. Love that jet design. Yeah, he's just the pilot. That's cool. Go. This is what you want to see Roadblock doing. Taking the gun off of a vehicle and using it as his personal weapon. That's what you want Roadblock doing. That's cool. Some cool fighting choreography between Lady J and Roadblock. This is totally like a tag team wrestling move. Hold on, hold him up there. Yeah. Knowing's half the battle. Whoa, this is like a video game moment here. How to make, like, it feels like Zelda. How to make your food. Add this. It's a silent comic, so add this. Okay, that's weird. They just made hot cocoa, guys. G.I. Joe. That is strange. It's like, okay, cool action stuff. All right. Nice setup. Yeah. Hot cocoa. G.I. Joe. It does kind of feel like the cartoon a little bit, the way they ended that. All right. I guess so. It's fun. It looks fun. Nothing stands out. I mean, I'll have to sit down and read it and kind of track the action and track the storytelling, but nothing stands out as confusing to me. It's all pretty clear what's happening. Some great action moments here, some like money shots. I like the way that he's drawing Roadblock, who is the main character. I guess he's giving Lady J like equal billing a little bit on this story. I would have preferred it to be a little bit more of a Roadblock moment at the end here. Okay. I don't know about that ending. All right, it's cool. Ah, the name is Heatseeker. Did I miss that? Did they write that title at the beginning? Oh, they just took it all totally out. I guess in his layouts he called it Heatseeker. I love that they could include these sketches at the back. It's nice. Always nice to see process. All right, we got one more after this. I believe it's Duke is the last one. Yep, the last silent mission. And this is drawn by... Oh, probably Wes Craig. Oh, Wes Craig's good. He's good. I've seen some of his stuff, so that'll be interesting. All right, there we go. G.I. Joe, Silent Missions. What do you guys think? Roadblock. Pretty interesting. Pretty silly at the end there, but fun. G.I. Joe, I mean, G.I. Joe at its best is a little bit silly. At least that's the G.I. Joe that I loved. When it took itself, it's always this fine line with G.I. Joe. Like if it took itself too seriously, you're like, come on, it's G.I. Joe. But if it was too campy, then it kind of became like very young and like not exciting. So I do believe like what we were looking at before, the earlier G.I. Joe book, I do feel like the tone of that they've kind of captured pretty well for what I feel like G.I. Joe, what makes G.I. Joe fun. So yeah, that one might have moved the needle a little bit more towards cheesy at the end there, but that's okay. Okay, let's see. Jason was struck for some music last week. Oh, bummer. Rocky, stop dying. I can't help it. It goes along with the old Asian thing. You might lose people if you don't cover comics. It's your stick. Yeah, it's true. They still copyright strike, and when you get monetized, you don't get ad revenue from that video is all. Video stays up. Oh, okay. Well, I'll get a whole bunch of zero from what I would normally get, which is zero, so who knows? Bungie got copyright struck from playing their own music. YouTube has terrible claim system. I had a Storm Shadow G.I. Joe toy that I made the main hero when I was a kid. Best costume. Storm Shadow is amazing. He was like, I loved Storm Shadow's backpack. I remember my mind getting blown when I discovered that all the little weapons like fit in the backpack and like his bow and his katanas and all that. I was like, what? Like that's where G.I. Joe shines when it made that stuff. All those little details. Amazing. Roadblock needs to be in Tropic Thunder. Mary Jane looking butch. You mean Lady J? Not Mary. Oh, Lady J, Mary Jane. A little bit, yeah. I mean, yeah, she was not the most attractive of the female. It was always like Scarlet. Like Scarlet was the focus. And then they went the other route with like CoverGirl, and you're like, yeah, that's like too much. But Lady J was kind of in the middle. Good art, bad woman design. I agree. I liked Roadblock way better than Lady J in that, just at first glance. Cranberry Landers is back. What's up, Cranberry? The other silent missions made sense. This one needs sound. Good point. I love it. That's a great review, Jeffrey Beats. Yeah, it's a great repeat. It's not like there was like a purpose and a reason behind those other ones being silent. Well, is that true about Spirit though? If you remember that Spirit story, definitely the Jinx one and the Beachhead one. Now you got me thinking about it in another lens. But yes, it's not the quietest comic when you read it. Roadblock is just like, you hear like a, rock and roll and like explosions and gunfire. So it's not, even though there's no words, you don't there's no silence in it, being a quote unquote silent mission. Huh. Yeah, I'm gonna have to really think about that. That's great. Great point, Jeffrey Beats. Dying goes along with the Asian thing. Why will I die then? What a chip. Why does a speedy Rocky mean a lot of my comments get cut? All right, what comments got cut? There needs to be a full tilt Tropic Thunder 2. Okay, I love Tropic Thunder. That was a great movie. Oh, here we go. What would G.I. Joe? G.I.Joe. I'm sorry, John. It was not intentional that I cut your comments. Maybe this is what happened yesterday. Maybe you didn't get shadow banned. Maybe people just skipped over it. There's too much. Too much. Don't forget, Shelby did a Snake Eyes no textbook going for 20. It was con exclusive. Yes, I have that. I asked Frank at Amazing Fantasy. Frank, if you're watching, here's your reminder to see if he can get me that book, because I do want that Shelby version. I love it, and I would love to get a Shelby book in hand. Rocky's keeping from potty mouth words. I'm not. John does not have a potty mouth. All right. So the poll says 80%, 10 votes, 80% said I got the giant-sized. This is the next book we're looking at. Giant-sized Hush number 2. 20% says I got the regular-sized. Here we go. Drum roll. Why is my drum roll not labeled drum roll? That's why it always takes me a while to get to. Timpani roll, it's called. That's dumb. I'm going to change that. I mean, but drum roll is easier to identify as I'm flipping through my sound effects. Here we go. Drum roll. Ending the poll. Mwah. Sorry, guys. I did not pick the giant-sized Batman Hush 2 out. I was so close. I was walking around the store with it underneath my arm and just debating it, but it's a pricey price point. And I figured if I told myself, I was like, well, I'll just get this one and then the next one I won't. And I couldn't do it. I couldn't pull the trigger. So I might regret it, but I feel like it's okay. I got the first issue at that giant sized. If I really like this after I read it, this second issue, I might try and go back and find the other one. I'm pretty sure I could order it if it sells out at the stores. But no, I ended up just going with the regular version because I want to see if the story grabs me. Because ironically, I did not like the original Hush. And so for the idea of me spending 3 times the amount of cover price per issue just to get the giant sized, kind of like made me like, well, you didn't even invest in the original Hush, and now you're doing this for the Hush 2 just because they're producing giant sized. So I psyched myself out and I didn't get the giant size version. But if they were doing giant size, hear me out, DC. If you were producing giant sized artist edition or like black and white versions, noir, Batman Hush 2 noir giant size, I would, no matter what, even if I hated the story, I would be all over that. So that's my tip to you. But anyway, I just grabbed the regular size version of this. Love the cover. This is a cool. Is this Red Hood? But cool version of that. But let's check this out. I do think the art was quite good in the first one. It was classic Jim Lee. And I didn't feel like he was like slowing down by any means or like, oh, it's like older Jim Lee or not as good as before. Like it was really good, really solid. And this one seems like it too. Like Jeffrey Beats mentioned at the beginning of the stream, I do feel like Jim Lee is pandering towards or catering towards the idea that there are giant sized editions being produced of his art. Because as you'll see when we flip through this, some of the spreads are like, wow, like really like in your face. And it lends itself to that giant sized format. I liken it to watching a movie in IMAX, like movies that are filmed in IMAX and you go watch them in an IMAX theater. That's how it feels like when you looked at a giant sized version of this Jim Lee art. So it's cool. Cool colors, feel really nice. It's like they're stylized, but they feel very much they're like not too dark and broody. Like there's still some pop to it, but they are very much the Batman world. Colorist is who's the colorist on this? Oh yeah, Alex Sinclair, who's a seasoned comic colorist and has worked with Jim Lee a lot. Look at this spread. Like this is one of those spreads in the giant size where you're like, wow, like my goodness, Joker's ripped. Look at Joker's abs. But you know, really impactful splash page here to see Joker like laid out on an autopsy table or whatever that is. Well, he's not dead, but on a medical table like this too. This like really big image of Batman. It's impressive at size. I will say that. Let's see. What did you guys say? Boo! Rocky deflated. I knew he didn't get that giant version. Emo trash. Unsub. Dang. Ouch. He's too demure. No. I'm cheap. Yes. I was like, I'm save my money for something else that is not worth me spending my money on. Sean bought the poster-sized poster book of Battle Brick Road 2. Yeah, I should that's where I should be spending my money on, buying like a poster book of like original art like that. That would be worth it, as opposed to another giant. It's pretty pricey. It's like $15 for one comic, you know. Also, want to drop in the link for Battle Brick Road. I read my copy of Battle Brick Road 2. It was great. Great second volume of that story. It's really really a great story, kind of a compelling story to follow. And it's just always, I think when you take a known story and kind of turn it on its head, it's always fun to see how the different twists and takes that, or turns that the creators do to like change it up or stick with the original. So Battle Brick Road has that going for it for sure. And yeah, and like we mentioned when we did the initial flip through of Battle Brick Road 2, Eric definitely leveled up with his artwork, so it's awesome. The first volume was great, but the second one's even better with his artwork. So it's a big recommend for me as far as indie books to back. Like this stuff, come on, at size, it's really cool. It's good. I don't know about this like version of Joker though. The Jim Lee version of Joker, like he's too like cut. Like he looks too handsome and like ripped for Joker for me. Joker's like creepy, disturbing, and emaciated, like a drug addict kind of. That's the Joker that I like. Or really horror, you know, freaky, scary, otherworldly almost. That's great. This was cool. When I was flipping through the giant size, this was a cool spread. Both because of the panels and the coloring was really, really nice on this. And you know, Jim Lee was like, wait till they get a load of this at giant size. Like, look how huge those guns are and like their faces. You see all the like pen marks of Scott Williams laying it down. Really impressive. Maybe I should have gotten the giant sized version. It's cool. I don't remember Hush, the original Hush, being like this in your face. So this was a little homage to Death in the Family. Do you guys remember that iconic cover? Let me call it up here. It's worth looking at. Yeah. cover right there on the right. This is an homage to that. That cover is actually drawn by Mike Mignola, the creator of Hellboy, before he was doing Hellboy. Before he even, I felt like he locked into the style that we know and love from Mignola. He was getting there, but not totally locked in. But this was such an iconic cover that he did. And this is kind of an homage to that. And then, I don't know, but I believe this is the Riddler because of the question mark on his chest. And then there's Batgirl's outfits back here. Something crazy. Here's Batgirl right there. This is awesome. Nice little clock. So yeah, it's cool. I don't know. It's like there's something about this. I feel like I got to give Hush again another. It didn't give me these vibes, and I really like where this is going. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see if we stick with it. But so far, I've been impressed, and a lot of it has to do with Jim Lee just like rolling up his sleeves and saying, "I'm gonna Jim Lee all over this page, and you guys are gonna buy it. You're gonna buy this version and the giant size version." And here's a little preview of, I guess, a new Batgirl. Meh. Oh, this is Jorge Jimenez. All right, cool. There we go. That's Batman Hush 2. Oh, I didn't publish yet. Sorry. There we go. You guys were just looking at the screen share. Sorry, let me go back. I think you guys didn't see this yet. This is what I was talking about. The Riddler. Yeah, I guess this is the version of the Riddler for the story, and then these are Batgirl's outfits here. Batman Hush 2. Check it out. Issue 159. I love that cover. Let's see. Cranberry Langer's guess giant size. Well, no. Great art, awesome one says. Why is Joker ripped? Doesn't feel fitting. Yes. At least not for me. Awesome one says, for the ladies. Duh. The crazy ladies. That's right. Maybe for the Harley Quinns of the world. Maybe. Love the dramatic Batman in the bottom right corner. Bottom right corner. This one. Yeah. Yeah, he's cool. I said previously that I felt like Jim Lee wasn't the right cast for me to draw Batman. He was more of like a Superman artist to me, or like a team artist to me. But this Batman's pretty cool. I know it's the same one he drew for Hush, but I don't know. There's something about it. I gotta go back and look at Hush and see why I didn't like it. I think a lot had to do with the writing, but I like Jim Lee's art in this. I really do. And I haven't tended to like his more recent art. Like, I was a big fan of Jim Lee on Uncanny X-Men and Wildcats. Huge fan. And then, but then as he was working on other stuff and kind of went on the DC trip, I was like, man, it's okay. Maybe because the market was flooded by a lot of people who drew like Jim Lee. But, and there's some stories that he's done, some Superman stories, which were okay. But I never really got back into it. But this is very impressive, what he's doing on this series. Joker is better suited to be a sickly, skinny boy. I agree. Oh my gosh, I'm running out of time. Shant's book. Awesome one. Thank you. 20K so far, but enough to buy a pack of gum. Thank you. Batman 159 is so good. I loved it. Awesome, Jeffrey Beats. Champagne Lee art. He completely skips the one I was talking about. Hush 2 looks great. At least the coloring. Yeah, it looks good. Okay, are you guys ready? Speaking of coloring, are you ready for this? This is the last current book that I picked up this week. Ugh, that looks horrible. Cranberry Lingers. This is the last current book I picked. There's only one issue left on the rack. Everything associated with this guy, this artist, this creator, I always feel like it's just a guilty pleasure. So much of my childhood. Relaunching this year, and as a precursor to the relaunch this year, Rob Liefeld released this. Rob Liefeld Youngblood Deluxe. What does that mean? What is Youngblood Deluxe? Rob, what are you doing to me here? So what he did, my understanding is, this is issue 1 of the classic book by this is a re-release of issue 1 of Youngblood, which was Rob Liefeld's flagship title when he started Image Comics. This is like hot off of like his success on New Mutants and X-Force on Marvel. He says, I am a rock star. See you later, Marvel. I'm doing my own thing with Todd McFarlane, Jim Lee, Will Spartaccio, Mark Silvestri, Jim Valentino, Eric Larson. We're doing our own thing. We're going to rock this comics world, which they did. And he came up with this team book called Youngblood. So he released issue 1, and it sold like hotcakes, one of the highest selling books of Image at the time. And it's gone through various, he was doing Youngblood, and then he just expanded the universe like crazy, with all the different titles that kind of spun off of Youngblood. He still was drawing Youngblood. I don't know how many issues that he drew. And then I felt like he just expanded way too fast and like lost focus. He wasn't the kind of guy to focus on one book like Todd McFarlane or Eric Larson. He just kind of went bananas and was like doing all sorts of stuff and building out his studio. And then many years later, he sold the rights to Youngblood, and which kind of goes against having your own creator IP. But I know there was a lot of shenanigans that happened. Sold the rights to Youngblood and was kind of upsetting because, this was Rob's baby. But just recently, he got the rights back. And so he's relaunching the book. And this is kind of to whet the audience's appetite of the new Youngblood coming out. Like he's drawing all new stuff for Youngblood. He's also releasing, which they advertise in the back of this book, I've talked about this a number of times, a vault edition, i.e. a artist edition of Youngblood. I believe it's going to be the first 4 issues, all of the original artwork in a nice big artist edition hardcover, which I'm very, very excited about. I guess Rob hung on to all that artwork, which is brilliant, and is going to be releasing this artist edition. And then for those of you who don't know, Rob was also the creator of Cable and Deadpool, all these like classic Marvel characters that make Marvel tons of money. And he's got a huge royalty deal with them on that stuff. So anyway, here he is relaunching Youngblood, calling it Youngblood Deluxe. And from my understanding is it's just the same story, but he just recolored the whole thing, had somebody recolor the whole thing, because when Image Comics launched, computer coloring was just beginning. And I wish I had my old copy of Youngblood #1. And if I find one in like a back issue box or something, I will buy it and we can look at these, compare these side by side. But I don't have one on me at the moment. But computer coloring was just beginning at the time that they launched Image Comics. And so it was pretty bad. They were trying a lot of things, but it was not great. So it's kind of neat that he would take the time to relaunch this, and the only thing he changes is the colors, I believe. I don't know if he changed any of the dialogue, or maybe he relettered it. But yeah, this is Youngblood Deluxe. So all this stuff looks really familiar to me, and also a little bit different because it's all changed up. I'm pretty sure there wasn't any metallic highlights on these weird patterns in the back from the original one. This is awesome. All these characters were like hinted at the characters that Rob created at Marvel while he was at Marvel. It's like, this guy's got Wolverine vibes. This guy's got Cable vibes. This guy's got Cable vibes. This was the main character for Youngblood. His name's Shaft. Wow, look, her hair has shadows. I've said this before, some of the recent work that Rob did, like on his recent Deadpool stuff he did for Marvel. He tends to lean really heavily on the computer coloring now, whoever he pairs up with as a colorist, and overdoes it. Like, it's way over rendered for me. It seems like some of that's going on here, but still kind of fun. Shaft is also kind of like Bullseye. Like, he's like a perfect marksman with anything in his hand. And then this is Badrock, who originally was named Bedrock until Rob got a cease and desist from, I believe it was Hanna-Barbera, for using the term Bedrock. So then he changed it to Badrock. This dude is one of the favorite creations of Youngblood. His name's Chapel. Had a crossover with Spawn. Okay, here he's so. I'm very disappointed in you. I'm not getting the giant-sized take Geek Boy move. Sorry, Jason. I knew it. Once I saw that pole like climbing up, I'm like, ugh, they're not gonna like this, that I bailed. There's some great AI Jim Lee art generators out there. Really? Look at number 159 and it looks pretty close. Maybe a talking point. Oh man. I have not seen the AI Jim Lee art generators. The big one I've seen is the Studio Ghibli one. I'm kind of scared to look at the AI Jim Lee art generator. Flummoxed, bewildered, perplexed. Cranberry Landry says he was flummoxed, completely flummoxed. Jason is removing Rocky's geek card. I listened to Rob's podcast yesterday. He said some truths about the X titles. Worth a listen. Yeah, he's got a great podcast. I don't listen to it regularly, but I do catch ones that interest me. He tends to, I mean, who am I to say? But he tends to ramble a bit and like talk. Love his energy. He's so like, he's just so overly confident in who he is. And I follow him on X, and he has all these kind of Twitter or X wars or tweet wars with people about stuff. But man, he's Rob Liefeld. Like, that guy was such a cornerstone of comics for me growing up. I just have mad respect for him. I don't love all the stuff that he's done. I don't love all of his take on things, but I just have the utmost respect for what he did for the comic book industry, the things that he created, the characters he created, and just like the discussions that he stirred up just by being Rob Liefeld, you know. I know Shelby has all sorts of stories about him too, because Shelby worked with him at Extreme Studios, so I love hearing some of that insider scoop. This crazy guy. Why does he have metal arms like Colossus? I don't know. Looks cool, though. That was kind of the mandate. Just make it look cool for stuff back then. Add more pouches. Draw less feet. This guy's wearing a Wolverine costume. Who cares? One thing I did post on, if you guys do follow me on X, one thing I posted maybe a week or two ago was somebody created an AI generated film trailer for a fake Youngblood live action movie, and I posted it without commentary because I have mixed feelings about AI and on one hand as an artist and what does that mean for the industry, but on the other hand is like a creation tool and like the incredible things it can do right now. And that trailer was pretty dang cool. I mean, there was stuff that was like, oh, okay, but there was other stuff that was like, whoa, that looks amazing. And they had Chapel in it. They had Shaft. My big beef with the Shaft that they had in it. He didn't have a bow and arrow. They didn't have him using a bow and arrow at all. He didn't have this headgear. But they had Badrock in it. They had Domino, or not Domino. Dang it, what's her name? Domino is the character from X-Force, whatever her name is. And they had Die Hard. Die Hard looked awesome in that trailer. So go check it out. Go follow me on X and look for that link. I basically retweeted something that Rob Liefeld tweeted, and he saw the trailer and he was like, "It's amazing." It's kind of cool. Look at all that. More blood. It's cool. I'd say these colors are better, for sure, better than what was done in the first issue. Oh my gosh, they're releasing a Youngblood Deluxe 2. Goodness gracious, this is just like the giant size thing. They're just rehashing the old stuff, and I'm totally gonna buy that. Totally gonna buy that. That's really smart. Dang it. Like, this is the new stuff of Rob that I'm like, yeah. I'm actually anticipating I'm not gonna like the new Youngblood series that he's writing and drawing. But I love this old stuff. There's something to old Rob Liefeld that just gets me. But yeah, the coloring's good. It's good. It's fun. It's like lens flare upon reflection upon highlight. That's fun. Dang it, they're producing a second for I thought it was just going to be an issue 1 thing. Man, I'm definitely getting that. Well, there you go. There you go. See, that's what I'm saving my Hush 2 giant-sized edition money for. To buy a Youngblood Deluxe number 2. This one's only $4. Oh, man. Would a comic named Hotcake sell fast? Maybe. Depends on who Hotcake was and what they look like. Promiscuous Time Traveler is back from the future or the past. If only the 90s stuff had plot lines. At that point, I mean, it's true. And funny you should bring up the 90s stuff, because this is a perfect segue into what I'm going to spend the rest of the stream of. I have about 25 more minutes, but I ran into the biggest nostalgia pit. After I picked this up, I had my books from the current section. Lo and behold, one of the stores put out new dollar boxes, and I was like, okay, I'll spend some time flipping through these new dollar boxes. I'd say about 85 to 90% of the books in there I had never heard of or was not interested in the slightest. But there was one little pocket that I ran into that I was like, yes. And so I picked up a bunch of these books. We're about to look at them. This is The Art of My Youth. Awesome One says. There you go. Introduce digital coloring, all sense of color theory. Yeah, I don't think it went out the window. I think they never had it to begin with. And they were just like pulling the levers like the wizard in Wizard of Oz, and just like smoke and mirrors. Whoa, we could do lens flare? Pff, just put that on everything. Like, nobody knew color. Very few people understood color theory that were doing digital coloring. And yeah, the technology drove the way that coloring went at that time period. Then finally, some artists or actual colorists got a hold of it and started figuring it out, and it got better. But that doesn't look bad. Those feet are devious. Rob Liefeld, known for his feet. The options became endless. Decisions paralysis. That's right. Rob can't draw feet. Toss a 16-year-old Nikita Ferrari. Too much, too quick. That's right. That's exactly what happened. And a lot of them were like teenagers when they got started. And they were like thrown money at them because it was so hot. And I'm sure they were just like, here's a computer, here's Photoshop. Like, figure it out, kid. We're going to make millions. So weird that Chapel becomes the king of hell. He was a crazy character. Kevin Smith was the first comic podcast I ever listened to about comics. Nice. Patriot was my favorite. Oh, yeah. Rob Liefeld was. Ditto on your other takes. AI takes creative jobs. Robots take physical jobs. Woo, technology. It was AI. I thought it was a fan film, but they used AI to generate all the images and even the music, I think, in there. And so when you think of it, it's like, it's pretty incredible. It is pretty incredible. I don't think you couldn't, I mean, not right now could you create a compelling film, but trailers? That wasn't bad. Or at least like a proof of concept. Like, hey, this is what a Youngblood live action movie could look like. You get it from that film. I mean, from that trailer they made. You get it. You're like, oh, wow, that could be pretty amazing. There's a panel in Youngblood where Die Hard's thumbs are on the wrong side. Oh, shoot. Not surprising. Is that where he's like punching? Yeah, Rob did some funny thumbs. Oh, there it is. No. They did not. They did not fix that. Jason. Can you guys see that? Is this focus? Yeah, it's focused. They did not fix that. So Die Hard's arms are up like this. See my hands and where my thumbs are? But look at where his thumbs are. I mean, this drawing is already kind of crazy. There are a few lines in certain areas that are emphasizing certain things. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, they did not correct that. I always found Rob Liefeld always drew funny fists. Fists, feet. He had it all. But it was, I don't know. There was something about it. Just tapped into the kid in me. Cranberry doesn't like the look of his new stuff. Yeah, me too. Less so than this stuff. His thumbs just deformed, Jason. How dare you critique his deformity? Beware, bargain bins can be a huge time sink. Oh, they're so fun. I love bargain bins. Shelby lied about his age to get his job. There you go. I thought it was mostly live actors, I should say. I mean, however AI does what AI does, it's like taking footage and like repurposing it and learning from it. But yeah, I don't think any live actor or actual actors were using that. I think it was all AI created. His thumbs are his pinkies. That's right. Pinky thumbs. I think I remember when it first came out, I was wondering, how does that work? His thumbs are wrong. Maybe he's giving him the thumbs down. Something. Okay. Where do we go? Okay, this is a crazy one. I don't know anything about this book, but this was done by the artist that I went over his ash can on stream. His name's Hoang Nguyen. And Shelby actually talked about this guy too, but he kind of epitomizes the like crazy, I'm just going to flip through this fast. I don't have much to say about it. Just epitomizes the craziness of 90s art at the time. And yeah, it's just like it's just fun, crazy, aggro stuff. And speaking of what Promiscuous Time Travel said, like there's no plot here. It's just how can we get to the action sequence and get to it fast? But yeah, I don't know. It's really fun. I've seen some black and whites of his artwork in that ash can and then other places too. And always in the sewer. Always in the sewer with all the pipes and stuff. Look at all those muscles. Raw. Yeah, these like hands. Just the exaggeration. It's fun. This is comics. This is 90s comics right here. We're gonna make bones. I don't know why their bones are the frames on the panels, but who cares? There is no layouts here. It's just whatever's cool. Yeah. This is crazy. So this was for Malibu Comics. They did Ultraverse. I was never a big fan of Ultraverse. Nothing appealed to me. The biggest character they had was this guy named Prime. That probably was one of their more successful characters. Who's kind of like a roided out Superman. This cover's fun though. Okay, so that's quick. Just a quick thing, just to whet your appetite. Then Ultraverse also hired this guy, Barry Windsor Smith, to come up with his own creation called Rune. Barry Windsor Smith is the amazing artist on Weapon X, that master study that I did the cover, that Wolverine image. But this is Barry Windsor Smith's own creation, Rune. I guess I'm pretty sure this was his character. Yeah, written by Barry Windsor Smith and Chris, drawn by Barry Windsor Smith. But it looks like, I was just looking here at the credits, it looks like Malibu owned the rights to it, so maybe he didn't own it. But this is like Barry Windsor Smith, like classic Barry Windsor Smith, but in the 90s. So he's trying to do the like 90s thing. This kind of vampire-esque emo trash. This is like Nosferatu-esque character. I don't think Rune really did that well. It's like fangs. But you know, it's Barry Windsor Smith. I mean, come on. But see like what year was this? 94, right? So the computer coloring was in full effect here. They're like, gradients everywhere, guys. That's what kids want. That's what looks real. Gradients. They're great drawings, though. Those are really great drawings. I'm guessing Barry Windsor Smith did his own colors. Colored by Keith Conroy and Barry Windsor Smith. Yeah, so... And then the computer coloring was by somebody else. So I bet you Barry Windsor Smith did some like color, because these look like crazy Barry Windsor Smith coloring. His coloring is bizarre to me. It's very emotional, I feel like his coloring is, as opposed to like realistic. That's cool. That's great. It's so funny doing that master study and like playing around with some of the hatching things that he did. You could just see it all over his work now, for me. Yeah, these are great drawings, really great. I've never read Rune, so I don't know anything about this story, but it's cool. But this was the 90s, mid-90s here. It's like comics couldn't have gone, everybody was just trying everything because comics were selling so well at this point. All sorts of gimmicks. Nemesis Prime. All right, this is just a blast from the past, early to mid 90s of comics coming out at the day and in the day. That's a great cover. I love that drawing. But I wouldn't mind seeing all this in black and white. The color's like, wah, burns my eyes. Okay, Rune, number 1. Oh, so this little like pocket that I found in this dollar bin were like all these number 1s during the 90s, the mid 90s. Let's see. Wow. Wait, not the first drawing errors I've spotted. If Wonder Man used guns. Oh, for the Warstrike. Yeah. They're looking for the Ninja Turtles in the sewers. Totally radical, dude. What's up, Alan?
Hey, kid. I'm a computer.
I've seen an artist break down Liefeld's art. It's interesting to see how lazy he go in some 90s comic art. Parts missing, no feet, repetition, some characters outline only for no reason. There was a huge, like, I think there's like Facebook group pages or like different pages dedicated to tearing down Rob Liefeld's art, or like every time he ripped off another artist or another panel and called it his own. Like, there's so much out there on the internet of people like ragging on Rob Liefeld, and fair enough, there is stuff that he ripped off, like that Roadblock cover with the cable drawing that he did, which is a classic cable drawing. Everybody loved that cable drawing until they realized that he ripped it off of the Roadblock Michael Golden drawing. But so yeah, that was kind of part of his repertoire of just like, however you want to call it, if he's ripping it off, copying it, or doing an homage. That was part of stuff that Rob did. And to be honest, he was not the only one. Like, I've seen other artists, even great artists, even artists who are, masters, do it. Like, nothing new under the sun, right? Everybody's influenced by something. So, but for whatever particular reason, and I would guess it's because there were certain egregious errors that Rob would make, like with the feet and like with the thumbs. But also, I would guess it's because Rob rose to meteoric success so fast, so young in life, and he had an attitude about him, like he was so cocky about it. Do you guys remember those ads? Oh man, I gotta look up this ad. The Spike Lee ads, videos that he was in for Levi's jeans. Oh, was this it? Let me see if I can. I don't think I would get struck for this. Yes. It was like the Buttonfly jeans commercials. Okay, check this out. You guys remember this?
Comic books. So I was about 7 years old, little kid.
What'd your parents think about it?
They hated it. They hated it. Oh, yeah. After I got a job and they saw that you can make a living out of it, you'll hear no complaints anymore.
And you created X-Force?
Mm-hmm.
So what is the drawing on?
This is the Spike Man.
And what's this right here?
This is the camera on top of your head that will record the wrongdoings of others.
So Rob, have you had any formal art training?
No. Just a lot of imagination, I think. Wait so I say it and then look down, or just open it and say it.
Fly button?
Like that. That is classic Rob Liefeld right there. And I think that attitude like rubbed people the wrong way. When anybody has success and then you come across as cocky, then people are just waiting to tear you down. So all that just added to the fervor or the anti-Rob Liefeldisms out there. And it's a shame. Say what you like about the guy. He changed the face. He was one of the pioneers and the leaders in changing the face of the comic book industry. And it's never been the same since, and it's never been as meteorically high and popular as it was during that time for comic books. Now, films, like all the Marvel films, like those have done amazing, blah, blah, blah. But those are the films based on the comic books. But the comic book industry itself, like I remember people waiting in line for hours and hours and hours to pick up these first issues of these books coming out, or like hunting to find the first editions of all these things that Rob Liefeld or Todd McFarlane or Jim Lee, all of them did. So it was such a fun time for comics, and it was so great, and he was such a big part of that. So yeah, I hate seeing people try and tear him down, because he really made the industry better. There was a lot of bad things that came out of it because of it, but there was also like a lot of great stuff that came out of it, and it will always hold a soft spot in my heart for what he did. Okay, let's see. Cranberry Land just read Prime. Rule of Cool is still the rule for me. There you go. I believe you. I believe you. Prime is good. Is it? Okay. I wonder if there's any like compilations of Prime, or I gotta look that up. Ultraverse, not so popular. You kind of have to just look for back issues if you want to catch up on Ultraverse. Alan Lau saying hi to everyone. Awesome One has room. Wow, you picked up all sorts of different stuff. Awesome One. Barry Windsor Smith, now we're talking. I love his Weapon X material, Jeffrey Beats says. Yeah, he is a legend. Kind of like Calypso as a vampire. Okay, maybe AI will do remasters of previous comics. Liefeld would get a lifeline. Let's AI remaster Rocky Zoo. Ouch. I think I remember Rune. My favorite Barry Windsor Smith is his run on Machine Man. Yes, I have those 4 issues. Alan Lau, and I unboxed them once, where I was unboxing some back issues here. But yeah, those 4 issues are some of the most iconic and greatest covers that I've ever seen in a comic book. Beautiful. Try to find those Battle Robot comics, Rocky. Prime was supposed to be the strongest in that universe, but they nerfed him, or he just disappeared. Oh, nerfed him. Oh, okay. Our critiques by AI would be, all Disney classics are ripoffs. Yeah, for sure. And then the Disney anime. I'm sure you guys have seen these videos. Wow, this would be an interesting topic if I had more time. Oh my gosh, I don't have that much time. Where Disney animators would rip themselves off or rip off old movies, even the classic movies, like dance sequences or character acting sequences that were really difficult. They would rip themselves off and reuse sequences and just reskin them, even in the classic movies. So yeah, it's not nothing new. Ripping off into homages are different. Yes. Yes. Depends on who you talk to or who describes it. Most Disney classics are kid-friendly versions of Grimm's Brothers tales. Yes. Definitely kid-friendly version. Seeing the original stories animation would be lit. What is that one children's book I have? Oh, gosh, I can't remember. It's basically like kid stories, but they were meant to like frighten kids into following their parents, or like, being good kids. It wasn't like a good fairy tale. It was like, what was it called? Slips my mind. I think it's a German tale. Makes sense. I hate button flies. They were the worst. I had button-up jeans, very dumb. Yeah, that was the worst invention. That was the one thing I did like about the first Winnie the Pooh movies. The one animated sequence that gave the background on the characters was the kind of creepy I wish we'd get more of. He made it though. And I think that's what made him so cool too, was like, you looked at what Rob did, and at a certain level you're like, I could do that. Not that it was easy to draw, but it was like, if he can do it, I could do it. And he was so young and relatable, and that was amazing. Rob gave it to Marvel high ups on his podcast. Yeah, I can imagine. He does not pull punches when he talks about Marvel Comics. Soon, John. I'm not gonna be able to get through all the stuff. Okay. I appreciate all these. Okay. Who had 2 minutes before Rocky realized? Go get your ramen. I believe the Barry Windsor Smith Machine Man was the first limited series ever put out by Marvel back in the day. Really? What? No kidding. The first limited series. Huh. Yes, Robin Hood was one of them. I think I remember Knight Rider and Dukes of Hazzard and Airwolf constantly. Oh, yes. Yes. Same with the Hanna-Barbera cartoons, like He-Man. Always repeated sequences. G.I. Joe, Flintstones, all those cartoons would repeat sequences. Where the Side... No, it wasn't Where the Sidewalk Ends. It was like... It's a German character. I want to say like Lufthansa, but that's the airline. Hans Christian Andersen. It's not Hans Christian Andersen. It's like... I have a children's book. Okay, do a wrap-up stream later tonight, Rocky. Gotta go. See you later. I'm gonna go soon too. Okay, here we go. We're gonna look at a couple more. I might have to postpone some of these. This is a crazy book. DEF CON 4. What is this about? I don't know. Actually, I should skip this one. It's cool though. But this is 90s. What's this 90s? I'm not even giving these guys like the proper review. This is drawn by Matt Broom. And look how like look how pretentious this is. Director, Matt Broom. Screenplay, first assistant director. They're talking about like a film. But it's cool. It's fun. Fun stuff. It's so 90s. Yeah. Look at that pose. Look at all the reflections. When I looked at this, I'm like, oh, man. It's cool, though. Cool stuff. Gratuitous bedroom shots. I don't know how this arm anatomy works. Like, what am I looking at? I thought this was like his body, but it's not. This is just his arm. What is going on? It's like Little Mermaid moment right here. Look at that. They could not blur that enough. They like took that Gaussian blur and just cranked it up to 100 right there on these highlights. But it's cool, you know, they're trying to be really cinematic and sci-fi. Oh, it's fun. It's fun stuff. I miss the gratuitousness of this in comics today, and the cartooniness in this of comics like this. It's just fun. I have no idea what this story is about, nor do I care really. Okay, this was 1996. Man, sweet spot right here. All right, let me look through. I'm gonna save some of these. Yeah, I'll save these other three. I'll give you guys a little hint. I do have to go. I do have to wrap this up. But these are all Gen 13 books. And Gen 13 is the epitome of mid-90s. I have these books, but I just had to buy this one just because it was in the dollar bin. This is Adam Hughes, guys. This is amazing Adam Hughes stuff here. Arthur Adams, amazing. So Arthur Adams doing Gen 13 with a crossover of Monkey Man O'Brien? Come on. Get out of town. And I will mention Sandra Hope. She's on social media. She's a great inker. She puts up a lot of inking demos, or like, not even demos, but just like time-lapse videos of her inking. She's great. She inks like Jim Lee, like all the top image guys she has inked, and she's been in the business a long, long time. And Sandra Hope and Arthur Adams doing Gen 13 Monkey Man O'Brien. Amazing. We'll look through that another time. This is amazing. This was a 2-issue series. Adam Hughes, incredible cover. Inked by Mark Farmer, who has inked Alan Davis. Great inker. And then this one, Gen 13, another Gen 13, Wired. This is by an artist by the name of Richard Bennett, who he does like feature film storyboards now. He's a big time board artist. But before, he did a number of books for Image. One of them is called Brass, that Shelby's done a review on his channel before. But he does this highly detailed, like, technical artwork. It's crazy. But he did this Gen 13 Wired. I've never actually seen this before. But I just love that they're all Gen 13 books because they're so different. But Gen 13 is very much Image, that time period. Everything that you could think of that would make an Image book was in Gen 13. And then to have all these crossovers. So we'll look at these later when I have more time. But just a little tease there for the future. Okay, let me catch up, and then we will go. We will go, because I do have to run. Brothers Grimm or Kinders... Oh, gosh, what is it? It was... my wrap-up stream went right over... Really? I don't know. What was the joke? What's the joke, John? I'm working fast here. Back when people mistook confidence for competences. It is something like that. Like, oh, dang it. I'm going to look at it. It's just driving me crazy now. Oh my goodness. I can't find it. I'm gonna look it up. Ah, dang. Come on. Come on, internet. It's like, gosh, this is crazy. No? Oh my God. Yes. Der Struwelpeter. You guys heard of that? This is crazy. This is by an illustrator named Bob Stocky. Great children's book illustrator. Struwelpeter. I don't even know how to pronounce that. But they're pretty much these like horrible children's stories that are meant to scare kids into behaving. Okay. That was not worth it. Well, my hard cutoff is 7, so actually I have class tonight. Okay. Huru Rocky, you are the best mate. Have a great day, dude. Thanks for the chat. Thanks, Jeffrey Beats. Thank you for saying that. Make sure you hit that like before you head out here. Everybody, please hit that like. Thank you so much. We got some great views on the the master study from yesterday. And if you haven't seen it, go back and watch it and add views, add likes to that one. But great views on that one, great engagement on that one. And hopefully we'll continue to build on. So go. Awesome One's telling me, Gen 13. Highly up for date. Might just finish the last chapter of my cheats. What? Just do it, Emo Trash. He's cut his music. Wrap-up stream would mean stop this stream soon and do a wrap-up stream later. Oh, no, I get that. All right, I gotta go. All right. I gotta go. Okay, Struwelpeter. Yeah, you guys know what I'm talking about. I think my ex-non-girlfriend told me about that. What? All right. See you guys later. Have a good Wednesday. I'll catch you soon. We'll go over this Gen 13 time the next time. I'll save it for next time. But thank you for being here. See you guys later. Hit that like on the way out, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.